everyone. My name is Marika,
Hi everyone, my name is Sanchari.
I'm Sohini,
and we
and
are
we are the
We are the
Sustainability Sisters.
Sustainability Sisters.
Yes. So, welcome everyone. So, I'll start with a brief introduction for all of us. So, I want this round to go and let everyone know of all the places that we have stayed. So we have studied at multiple places, and we want to tell you more about our journey. So starting with myself, I am from Jaipur, Rajasthan, and I have lived at multiple places like Himachal. And for the last years, 10 years, I am in Mumbai. So I'm mostly Mumbaikar. Now I'm passing it to Sanchari.
Hi guys, I'm from Calcutta, but my dad was in shipping, so we have also lived in multiple places. Most interesting out of which was Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Was the most fun also, but मैं बहुत छोटी थी. So, but I call myself a Calcuttite and currently been in Bombay for 7 years now.
Sure.
I'm passing on to Sweeney.
that has been quite an interesting lots of places. I am originally from Kolkata, but I have lived in Mumbai my whole life. So like Smarika, I identify as a Mumbaiker and I've studied here itself. So not a lot of places that I've lived in, a lot of places I've visited for sure in India. But yeah, lived in, that's it.
Sure. Thanks, Sohini. So I think we are going to unfold more about ourselves, and we're going to let you all know ourselves what our hobbies are as we keep on talking with each other, and we're going to know more about each other as well. But for today, we have actually gathered for discussing a very alarming situation all over the country. And since we are getting different different kind of negative news from all over the different places, there are problems like heat waves, extreme temperatures. For example, in Delhi, it is above 50 degrees. It has already crossed that temperature. There is water stress in different regions, and like I read, India is currently only having only 23% of the water capacity that from its previous year, like last year 2023. So this year it's just 23% of the last time. So so that's why we've decided that we are going to talk about the environmental issues. And since most of us are already working on things like environmental social governance, SCR, etc., sustainability spaces. So we'll start with what are the challenges that we see all of this news, but what are the challenges that we personally face? Like we'll start with you, Sohini. What do you think? What are the different challenges that you are facing, given that you have already been in Mumbai for last so many years, your entire life? What is the how do you feel the situation has changed now?
Yeah, I feel exactly because I've been in Mumbai for so many years. I feel that is why I can actually gauge just how drastically the temperature has increased. And even like currently, the heat wave outside, it is very, very like bad. Like people can't even like go out in the afternoon, which was never the case in Mumbai. And adding to the plight, we also have a lot more water cuts. And then it's expected that because of such bad heat, there's also been a lot of issues with like there's been a lot of electricity cuts and all of that as well. Like all of this has been affecting a lot of our personal lives, which was never the case in Mumbai. Like growing up, I've never like actually like faced this or even like heard like things like this happening. So I think that is pretty much a very alarming like place where we have reached currently.
Definitely, yes. Sanjari, you were mentioning in our earlier discussions about the situation in Pakistan. So,
Yeah.
what all do you think are the
So
problems that?
Pakistan doesn't even have the infrastructure that India has in place for disaster management. India mein to heat wave has been recognized as a disaster since 2016. There has been compensation related to heat wave. Curriculum में भी include किए हैं. But Pakistan doesn't have as much disaster management planning for heat waves or for the oncoming monsoons that are going to be in very soon. And wahan pe deaths are not even being recorded as deaths being caused due to climate change or heat waves. So, in fact, I think the one of the Congress leaders has recently highlighted that Karnataka government is not disclosing deaths related to heat waves. That is one point that our government can do something about. With respect to challenges that we are facing in our daily lives, I travel to office like every day, almost in a week, and it's draining. One day work from home, you work from home and you realize कि office जाने आने में how much it takes out of you energy wise, and then once you are in office with the kind of, you know, intensity that we do our jobs, a lot of times we forget to hydrate ourselves. Okay, that's not cool. Now the hydration has become a part of our routine where colleagues are reminding each other कि चलो now it's time to for more pani. Good job.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice to
that's a
see
very
Sarika
valid.
just got reminded of hydrating herself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I
I
agree
should call
to this.
water.
So Sanchari, you raised a very valid point. In fact, this was a problem that I faced, that the commuting is for very, very long hours. And Mumbai has now, not just Mumbai, like all the places, they are going to be like facing extreme temperatures. So do you think governments and companies can come up with something the which increases the resist, which gives some support to the employees to to have policies that employ more work from home, or there are like shelter houses and AC. So what do you think we should, like, who how
First off,
do you
I want to ask you guys कि are your models hybrid? How many days are you working from home? Sohini?
So the model is not exactly hybrid. We have been told that we can take like 4 days work from home in a month. But like given the high temperatures currently, I feel like what Smarika said, we can actually look at making the office models more hybrid in nature. I think that will really help the people like from Mumbai or Delhi who are facing such extreme heat waves. And I was reading a lot of companies are actually taking up this measure, like Tata and one more. But yeah, so it's kind of like a necessity at this point given the climate outside.
agree? And there's one thing that I want to also raise here, because India, most of the population actually they are in jobs which cannot be done as work from home. For example, the vendors or like the shopkeepers or the people who are on petrol bunks. So this will reduce their load also. That like okay, people are just coming in the evening, so they can have that off time during 2 to 4, because I visited a petrol bunk 2 to 4 here only in Khargar, and there the person is not even able to think straight, because at 50 degrees, sorry, in Mumbai it is almost like 34 degrees, feels like 44 because of humidity, and that impacts the mental health of people. So do you think, have you experienced this kind of brain fog when you're in extremely high temperature, you're not able to work or think straight? Has it happened to you? Because that has happened to me. I'm from Rajasthan, and like my personal story, uh, the heat waves in Rajasthan are extremely, extremely bad. And when I was in 10th or 12th standard, I used to travel for tuitions very, very far, and I used to get boils all over my body. So it was very, very extreme. And like we were discussing before, in Rajasthan, they are almost at the point of declaring emergency, which is also one good step that they should take. But I want to hear from you about like more about mental health related to extreme events. Sanchari is here. Yes. Sanchari, did you hear like what I just talked about? I just talked about uh like, have you experienced mental health or brain fog that is associated with heat waves? Have you ever
Yeah,
experienced?
sometimes when you're coming out of office, afternoons, lunch ke baad you want to walk around. Or at least in Calcutta, I remember school ke time, everybody would be sleeping in the post-lunch class, right? 2
Yes.
p.m., nobody is interested. So last period, everybody's trying to make their way in their minds ki ghar ja rahe hain. And sometimes the humidity would be so thick, it's like walking through soup, and you can actually feel your clothes sticking to your body because you're out, and your brain just dozes off.
Yeah, that's what
So I don't know about mental health, but it does mess with my capacity to even think at that point.
agree because this person at petrol bunk, I was like telling him, okay, give me the petrol for 2100. He was like, kya 2122, and he cannot even understand.
Mhm.
So
So
yeah,
mad.
It does take a toll. It really does take a toll. And especially, again, if you're not hydrating yourself enough, like even that, like you feel very, very exhausted and you don't even like realize until it like hits you. And then it's sometimes too late. And that's why the cases of heat stroke and all have risen so much. So it is really an issue. And even though it's like 34 degrees, like you mentioned in Mumbai, like technically I was that's what I was reading in an interview with the IMD director. So he had said that usually how it happens is if the temperature is like crossing 34, then within an hour it cools down. But because there
Mhm.
has been so much of construction in Mumbai in like the recent few months, it has been like an entire churn of infrastructure development, which is why all of these like concrete jungle they trap the heat, no, so it just doesn't let it cool down. So this
yeah,
34, it just keeps like the situation just keeps exaggerating and exacerbating. So
yeah,
it just and that takes a toll on like everyone, especially the ones who are like in the very middle of this infrastructure concrete jungle.
yeah. That is
There was this,
urban heat island impact.
there
So
was this
Exactly.
one
Yeah.
news of flamingos that you had mentioned earlier.
yes. So what about
Mm.
flamingos?
So in Andheri, I think some location, flamingos dropped down dead from the sky.
Oh,
Their migratory route had changed because of the heat, and they somehow mistook the route over the city as their route, and that the, they did not receive the breaks that they usually take because of the route that is their usual one that goes through the mangroves and through Vashi Creek. So instead of that, they took the city route, and because it was so hot for so long, some of them dropped dead on the road. It is
that
just terrible. With so many biodiversity parks that we have in and around Bombay, it's not affordable.
so the I also read in like multiple news channels. I've seen that there are animals biodiversity, for example in Thailand corals are bleaching, so we are almost at a tipping point. We are almost like very late to take climate action, any kind of climate action. Plus India is towards the receiving end. We have temperatures like so in you sent a paper from X, and then the temperature was as high as 60 degrees in some part of near to Aravali's in Rajasthan. So it just looks like we are too late. What do you think? How do you think next 5-10 years are going to unfold, and what kind of behaviors do we need to learn at different levels, like our level, then like we discussed corporations, how they should be treating their employees, they should be giving them more space and like safety to work, and the governments. So governments as of now, they have the early warning system in place that generally they talk about, but I don't think there is more infrastructure which is related to just giving shelter for the people who are impacted by a heat wave, which has everything like water and shed for some time. So what do you think are how do next 5-10 years look like, especially for India and Mumbai? So you do you want to go?
You're
Uh,
not on mute, but we can't can hear you now.
you can hear me?
um
Hello?
yeah, can you speak a little bit louder maybe then?
Yeah, I can. Is this better?
Sanjari, can you hear her well?
I can hear her. but I'm stressing a
It's
little to
very
make out the
fake.
words. That's it.
Okay. Mm.
Acha, 1 second. Let me try this.
This is like when NDTV loses like one of their speakers in the panel. It's just like, sir, आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? And that guy goes, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना.
लगता है हमारा कनेक्शन यहाँ से छूट गया है दोस्तों, तो वी टेक अ ब्रेक नाउ। एक क्विक कमर्शियल ब्रेक के बाद हम आ जाएंगे। मैं
Can you hear me now? Is
यस
this
यस
better?
Yes.
यस।
Acha. Okay, great. All right. Yeah, so no, I was saying, I'll just repeat from the beginning. I was saying that taking forward Smarika's point, like forget shelters where there are like, water bottles or like things kept to actually help someone who suffered from like a heat wave. There are not proper disaster management systems also, like proper infrastructure that will help tell people that like maybe like stay at home because the next few days is going to like be really bad heat waves, or even coming up now, like what many Mumbaikars are feeling is that okay, like the summer months are almost over, now we're going to get rains, but it's not going to be any better with the rains coming because again the IMD has said that there are going to be lots of flash floods, and also like the number of like rainfall expected, like the amount of rainfall expected is going to like be a lot more than seen previously. So I think in this regard we need a lot of like very solid disaster management system, like warnings given in apt time to people to like stay at home. Maybe we are going to like face a flash flood today. Something of that sort is supposed to be done by the government, especially in a city as populous as Mumbai. So I think in the next 5 to 10 years, because it is very late, but we need to make changes now. And while making those changes, I feel like we should also ensure that our infrastructure is also looking forward to that vision and not only just buildings and metros and all of that.
Agree. So probably Mumbai, just for Mumbai, I think it's looking for, like, I've seen a plan which says New Mumbai, then there is one more outer Mumbai and things like that. So Mumbai needs to be possibly offloaded because it's just really really big, and all the commercial parks are in like central Mumbai, and everyone from everywhere travels to this spot, which only creates more congestion. And also there, if you see, just in the traffic there is like even more extreme heat, which is actually aggravated by the traffic pollution and the urban heat island effect. So
I
yeah,
want
this.
to step in for Mumbai government for a second. Okay. I studied disaster management in Bombay at TIFF. So there we were learning about all the things that government in Bombay is doing to for all of this. Heat waves ka to correct. There is very little done yet. There can be more and they're working on it. But especially for flooding, no, which is like a repetitive issue for cities like Bombay. Uh, there's an MCGM disaster management app. There's a portal also on it, and there you can look for shelters that are in and around you. What are the amenities that are acceptable in the shelter? How long or what is the capacity in the shelter currently where you can go and access it? So they use the community in order to update the apps. There are marks on certain houses, and once the water level reaches above these marks, the city people can then update ki yes, this zone is under red alert. Then those are real time live updates, and there are community warriors or helpers, something that they are called, and they've been trained long time back, like 2004 mein when the tsunami came, no, in the Indian Ocean tsunami affecting Andamans and Vishakhapatnam likewise. These people were formed. We also need some measures in place. The Odisha government was doing a lot of work on lightning and storms, and Bombay government decided to pull up their socks. Where West Bengal government might still be lacking, even though they have maintained that lightning is now a disaster for them as well. So कुछ ना कुछ चल रहा है. Maybe through our podcast or series, we can get people to like know what is in and around them and use it to help themselves and others.
Guys, we'll put the MTGM app link in our bio. And this is not a paid promotion. So install Happy GM
Could
app
be,
now.
could
This
be.
this sounds great. As of now, it's not. So yeah, but this is great. This is a very welcome step from government. So like floods, we should also have something on for droughts and like many regions, like especially like I mentioned Rajasthan. We need to really amp up the efforts. Like the Rajasthan government needs to amp up their efforts. It's just really bad over there. It's just very high temperature. People are dying of heat strokes. So I think it's almost time to end. I would just, we just would have one more round, and we would just say that how we are now trying to be ourselves more sustainable, just one thing each, so that that we take it up as a challenge, even if we are not doing so much as of now, and we also have something to give away for the people who are watching our podcast. So should I start? So I
Yes.
am so I am mostly vegetarian, and I have not given up on non-veg, but like very occasionally I have. So I hope that keeps my carbon footprint in limit.
Really want to go next?
That is very nice. Yeah, sure, I'll go next. I think what I have taken up is using a lot more public transport and walking to travel to places rather than using like cars or like rickshaws in Mumbai are like just like private cars only. So there's not
So he
a lot of
walks a lot.
sharing rickshaws. So yeah, so instead of using that, I think what I started with is one for the exercise as well as like much better for the environment. So I think more than walking public transport right now because the temperature outside is not the best for walking as well because I've tried and that's another thing affecting me personally. I can't really walk to places a lot anymore. But yeah, so those have been some measures I've taken. Sanchari, over to you.
Awesome, Sohini. So he walks a lot.
Good job. I would love to work a lot, except I work a lot. Stop, stop. So, uh, you know how in the heat people come to deliver products, and we had gotten so used to this delivery system from the pandemic, we never started going back to the stores to get our own stuff. But now it's so hot that I have to wait for a delivery partner to be assigned and then they'll have to come. So it's a shortage me paying extra prices, getting them also to come. When you see them come back at home sweating, you have to offer them pani. It's so bad. Someone has to do this for you to get your chips. So for now, I've started to go buy my own chips by myself. Which is not a huge deal, but then I don't know. I feel like I can go downstairs and get something. Just do it.
It is only like little steps towards bigger changes. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah, definitely.
this is amazing that you guys are doing, and hopefully we'll be able to discover more things because like like I recently heard, sustainable living is a journey. It is not a destination. You'll always keep learning that
Yeah.
how you are going to live more sustainably. On that note, do you have some advices for the viewers?
More than
Hydrate.
advices, I think we would love suggestions from your end too, or like if all the viewers
Yes, we would
share what
love the
they do.
suggestions. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like what
I
they
have
do.
an advice. Please drink water, lots of water, and offer water like Sanchari does. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
please stay hydrated. And yeah, like so you mentioned, please give us suggestions on what do you want to learn and what do you want to hear about. Any last words,
Yeah,
Sohini, Sanchari?
yeah, I think that is, and yeah, please share what you all do to like towards sustainability, so that if any we can adopt, then we can also like go ahead with and do it in our lives. So even that is very much welcome.
Yes.
I do have one piece of advice. Guys, don't be ashamed of taking out your umbrellas in the sun, okay? Everybody in
Oh my God,
Calcutta does
yes.
it.
Why is that a
Mumbaiker,
thing?
you can do it
That is
too.
so true. Why is that an actual thing? Oh my God.
I don't get it. If it's hot, just take out your umbrella. You'll be safe. But nahin,
Exactly. Like you walk and you get like weird looks, and I thought it's just me. Thank you for bringing that up.
बारिश का season नहीं आया है दीदी. What are you doing? Why? Wait.
Okay, guys. Please use umbrellas. That is also one more advice. Very good advice, in fact. So I think that's all, and see
Yes.
you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.